Hey everybody, welcome back. Okay. A used hatchet.
Turn around, sir. Stupid beast! You're mine!
Fucking god.
Murdering bastard! Die, vermin!
What the fuck, kind of a gas thrower or something?
This could be the box Lewis thought he lost.
No easy way to say it, so I'm gonna be blunt. We can't keep on like this, at least I can't keep on like this. If Joe ever finds out about us, about his wife and his best friend, he'll crush him. And then he'll kill you. We had some good time together, but let's face it, I'm never gonna be your Jane Lewis. You know it, and I know it too, so I'm ending this right here, right now. If you agree with my decision, I'm sure you'll find a way to be happy again. You, Joe, and me in time. And then the most important part of our story will have been preserved. Until that day, I wish you forgive me. Goodbye for now.
A love letter from Joe Peterson's wife addressed to Barrett Lewis. Who should I give it to, I wonder?
Well, if I give it to Joe, he's probably gonna kill the dude.
keep nearby. Other people are talking about it.
It's locked, all right.
This district seems to get much.
Its effectiveness has been proven by many. Even the flu is no match for the Swanborough cordial.
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never lose your focus, do you? I found this box in an abandoned building nearby. I believe it belongs to you.
Let's have a look. Yeah, this is mine. So, you faced those loons that roam around there. Extraordinary.
I suppose I was lucky.
Luck is a commodity round here. Yours should be properly rewarded.
About this package, it's not just tools and trinkets, is it?
Don't want to be rude or anything after your kind gesture, but it's none of your business.
What do you know of Harry Peterson? The boy seems so fragile. Not like his father at all.
Harry's a good boy, but he spends most of his time complaining. He's had it tough, all right, but he needs to grow a pair.
What troubles him exactly?
Well, despite being his father's son, almost everything, I think. He never wanted to come to Whitechapel in the first place. Hates this place more than most of us.
Joe Peterson. He's the villain here, isn't he? But you seem to know each other.
I've known Joe for years. I saw him box once or twice. He was a friend then. But these days, he's just another thug.
And no one has ever stood up to this thug.
Nobody would be fool enough to stand against a wet boot boy.
What can you tell me about Mr. Peterson? Besides his behavior toward you, obviously.
Colossus Joe was a decent boxer, good one even. But after his wife passed away, he found every excuse to stop training. Just wanted to pick fights with everyone.
It's never easy to find a new path in life, especially after the loss of a loved one. But crime is certainly not the best option.
We've all had some rough times, ain't we? But most of us don't use our fists to see us through.
Barrett, you had an affair with Joe's wife, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. She's the only woman I loved. My first regret is that she stayed with Joe after Harry was born. The second is I never shed a tear when she died.
Do you mean you're Harry's father?
No one will ever know for sure. And it's better that way. And I don't believe I'd have been all that bad as a dad.
Did you ever try talking to Joe?
Never. But I suspected he knew everything, even without knowing it. And he decided to make me pay in his own way.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Lewis.
You again? What do you want this time?
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Time will come when you will all be judged for your sins. Even now, he judges your words and actions. The wars of men should not be your main concern. The disease upon us is not an accident of nature.
gonna be 3 of them. Where the fuck am I heading off to now? Goddamn winding ass streets are like a fucking maze.
An angel made flesh, I tell you.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town, my words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
Really? Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
Do you need medical attention, sir?
It may be wise to let you prescribe me something. I don't feel like I should.
Okay, cold.
I will see you later. What are your thoughts on the terrible situation in this city?
Terrible, you say? No. Of course, the death of so many innocents is a tragedy. But the scourge has not been all bad for the city. Oh, no, sir.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember London before the flu? Noisy, cacophonic, quiet nowhere to be found. And now, listen to this oddly peaceful silence.
Yes. The enjoyable silence of the grave. You have a unique perspective on the situation, I must admit.
Most people fail to understand my perspective. I don't blame them. But how could I call myself a poet if I veiled my feelings?
May I ask what you're doing at this hour of night, sir? Do you live here?
Not at all. I'm just enjoying the pleasure of a quiet walk. Though night talks are always preferable, if you ask me. Especially with strangers.
But are you not afraid of the epidemic?
Oh, why should I? I see some equity in the Spanish flu. No flesh should be saved, say the scriptures. Good or evil, rich or poor, all are equal in the eyes of the flu.
If you say so. But as a physician in a time of epidemic, I must caution you to avoid unnecessary exposure, sir.
Thank you, Doctor. But we both know the seeker of truth has to go boldly where the weak dare not.
Are you aware that your life could be in danger in this part of town?
But this is where I must be to feel the real beat of the city. I had to come, see it for myself, alone.
I understand your need for solitude, but it's not safe around here.
I don't care. I don't have many friends, Doctor, and my family despises me.
If some misfortune came upon you, who would be here to help you?
Well, you for a start, my dear Doctor.
Tell me, Mr. Nethercott, why seek inspiration in Whitechapel?
The place is not beautiful per se, but how to explain it? Stirring and challenging.
In what way, exactly?
The struggle by gaslight, the barren smiles and the added hunger under the rain.
If you say so.
Such vibrant antagonism and vivid paradox. The stripped humanity raged across each street.
Vivid, of course, yes. And what about the poignant distress?
Oh yes, the poignant distress. You see what I mean, don't you? That's what I want to write about, and that's what Whitechapel is made of.
Do you not think it a little morbid?
On the contrary, sir. Whitechapel is full of life, full of beauty. Just like my dear muse, the wonderful Camellia.
What can you tell me about Camellia?
Not much, and that's the beauty of it. She can't speak, you know. She's a locked mystery who exhales kindness and sweetness.
And have you ever tried to learn more about her? Where she lives? How she survives? Whom she may know?
Maybe I prefer she remains an enigma. Reality can be so dull, don't you think?
Perhaps you're just afraid to find out the truth about your muse.
One day, perhaps, I'll ask her to come with me. But will she still be my wild flower of Whitechapel if she moves uptown?
I'll leave you alone, sir.
Mr. Nethercut, thank you for sending your book of poems, Songs of the Defeated City, which we found an interesting and profound as we told you the first time we received it. Alas, in the terrible times our country is currently facing, you must understand that such a title would be totally inappropriate for any publication. Thus, since you still refuse to change your title and demand full publication or none of your work, I'm sorry to announce that Sycophant Publishing is choosing the second option.
Good evening, Mr. Nethercott.
And good evening to you too, my good sir. Can I be of any help?
You don't really make a living from your scribblings, do you, Richard?
No, sir, I don't. I work so hard. I put all my time, my energy, my devotion into the precise carving of words.
Still, you don't seem to suffer from poverty.
With thanks to my parents, actually. I'm afraid I would not be able to live on my own without their help.
You seem embarrassed.
Someday I hope to proudly offer my first publication to my parents. Until that day, I'll remain the failure of a son they have to support.
I'll leave you alone, sir.
If you're sick and you have no money, wherever you are, wherever you're from, come see Dorothea to get help. And that's,
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. I'd like to ask you a few questions. I know what you're thinking. A tall stranger who meets a girl in the street at night. It reeks of the penny dreadfuls. But I mean you no harm, truly. You don't seem to need my medical attention for now. I know you understand what I'm saying. Your silence has nothing to do with you being mute, does it? Tell me about Richard Nethercott. I understand he is quite fond of you, Camellia. Camellia, I know you work for Dorothy Crane. Please tell me about her secret dispensary. A stubborn and mute comrade. Nurse Crane and Darius Petrescu have been clever. Very well. Goodbye then.
oh, I can't go raid the
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of town? Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
What is a journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
That's quite honorable of you. But is the public interested?
Not at all, sir. And that's why I'm an independent journalist, hoping to sell some stories.
So you risk your life to reveal the truth. I saw many reporters do the same during the war.
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
If no one stops it, this epidemic could turn into a scourge. It may kill more people than the war itself.
Yes, this is another kind of war, but just as deadly. History will judge us all for what we did and what we did not.
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets at night?
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
I'm convinced there is more at work here than a simple epidemic.
Really? To be honest, I could say the same. Some of the sick I saw or heard of. My God, what happened to them?
Do you need assistance?
That would be nice of you, Doctor. Who knows what I may have caught during my investigation.
Okay,
I will see you later.
I'm gonna need a lot of fucking fatigue cures.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell.
Christ.
I'm cheap and I'm clean, I promise.
Oh. A hooker.
Don't be shy, handsome. What can Christina do for you?
I'm not looking for what you're selling. But I'd like to ask you a few questions, if I may. I'm a doctor. Dr. Reed.
All right then, but be quick. Though I usually get paid when I open my mouth.
Do you need any assistance, Miss Popper?
It depends on the price of your medicine.
I will see you later. Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Anything you can tell me about her would be helpful.
I don't know her, but I know her name is Dorothea Crăciunescu. She came from Romania like me and many others.
You seem to respect her.
Dorothea helps the sick people of Whitechapel. Everyone should respect that.
Anywhere near Transylvania's
Christina, have you been
province
examined?
of Wallachia?
The epidemic is spreading fast in
Wallachia,
London,
however it's pronounced.
and you could be exposed. Or expose others.
I don't like doctors or hospitals, but I don't like you asking questions.
Considering your line of work, I assure you it is only a matter of time before you have health issues.
If it is going to happen, it will happen. Right now, I need money. That's what's important.
You can put your own life in danger, that's your decision. But what about your clients? If you're contaminated, you will put them in danger too.
And you think that would worry me? If you knew the men I deal with, their health would not be what you'd worry about.
Clayton Darby claims he will expose the crisis in Whitechapel to all of London. Do you believe him?
I believe Clayton's courage will erode with time, until he finally leaves Whitechapel to start another fight somewhere else.
Are you talking from experience?
I've seen your type come here to get a good fuck in a cheap room or a dark alley before going back to their fancy houses in the West End.
Why this skepticism?
How can you speak about starvation if you've never been hungry? Or about poverty? Or anything else you have never suffered from?
Tell me about yourself.
Are you joking with me? People don't usually come to see me for conversation.
I have no interest in your work. I am, however, curious as to what led you into this career.
Short story. The war, exile, and England. This country is not especially welcoming. I've been refused many jobs because of where I am from. I had few options left.
I always thought I was the master of my own fate. But now I know we don't always have control over our lives. I don't judge you.
You know, this money is not only for me. I have good reasons to need this money quickly, but it is not your concern, Doctor.
Goodbye, miss. Take care of yourself as best you can.
And then right around the corner, there's the preacher.
Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son. Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed, and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
Just don't flashbang me with Jesus, okay?
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that Nurse Crane you mentioned.
So, you're not exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale's work. But nurses are essential for modern healthcare.
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male patients. It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fiber.
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in our country. That's what happens when you let a woman get involved in politics.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences, and most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
Purification by fire has proved useful, but where do you stop? Burn the clothes? The buildings? The corpses? Worse?
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light. This is God's will.
You're mad. And dangerous. You're nothing but a soulless butcher. A small-time Torquemada. The Savonarola of Whitechapel.
My son, If you think salvation is a free gift, go listen to the lies of that pompous fool, Joseph.
Joseph, a fool?
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church. While he continues preaching his fraudulent redemption, more and more people die in the streets.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are
Quite a
Well, you...
I am. But the answers I seek are based on facts, not superstition. Have you any friends? Any family left in these terrible times?
No. But I have a disciple I see as my son. He is so devoted. I send him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
Where did you send him?
I sent Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery, where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
You sent him on some preaching crusade during the epidemic.
As a true believer, Samuel will fear no evil while he walks through the valley of the shadow of death.
Don't you fear getting sick yourself?
I've been touched by God's grace. I am perfectly healthy.
Okay, I'm
I
not
have
gonna
had
waste
enough
medicine
for
on
tonight.
you.
Goodbye.
Boy.
So pale, my
Okay, there was a back alley somewhere that I didn't get to loot. I guess I drop down here? No. I missed the goodies! What the fuck? Alright, then I got into a melee with these assholes. Yeah, and there was this back alley that I didn't fully explore. Okay, well, now that we know where that goes.
Come on, take a look. Don't be afraid.
So one of these is gonna be the guy I'm about to talk to, and then there's two more.
What? What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to.
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be from Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nithercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
I cannot enter. I must talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius. Nearby the church they just mentioned.
Where was...
As long as you have the money.
Ah, fuck. Did I get lost again? Reddies!
This is despicable.
I won't end up another drunk arsehole littering the streets.
Actually, I should
Not me.
probably pop back and make a bunch of medicine. Actually, was there a workbench in here? Ah. So... What is this one? Blood absorption and stun. Ah, shit. I was gonna upgrade my hacksaw. Oh, crap. Well... Okay, so anyway, what... Fatigue, 2, 3... 3 fatigues, a cold, and a migraine. I'm on the case. All of them. Fucking mix up a Red Bull for the hooker. Here, oh, you're tired? Here. Drink this.
It's locked, all right.
Drugs from the sick and suffering.
I won't end up another drunk arsehole littering the streets. Not me.
Good evening, Benjamin. Can I help you?
I'm afraid not, Mr. Reed.
You don't seem well, Benjamin. Do you need any help?
I always feel ill, sir.
I thought
I will see you later. A gun, alcohol.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. I thought I... Oh, I don't have cure for migraines yet. Oh.
The wet boots will be proud.
But I got bronchitis.
When science fails you, this elixir will give you faith again.
Hmm?
Who distribute flowers at this hour of night?
I don't have your money. Come on, Barrett, you know the game. You pay for peace of mind.
Can't you just look the other way this week, Joe? Come on, we can sort it out, right?
It's not my
Good
fault,
evening, Harry.
Barrett.
May I come in?
Sure. Sure. Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
So, may I ask you a few questions?
I'm not bothered.
Do you need any medical help?
Yes, I do.
You'll feel better with this. But you need to get a grip, young man. Medication alone won't cure melancholia.
I'm not sure I'm happy with the idea of living long in a world like this. But I thank you for your concern, sir.
Do you remember when Barrett Lewis was close to your family? To your mother?
Not really. I was too young. But I remember it was a happier time. Mr. Lewis was funny. He often had dinner with us.
Why are you sad, then?
Because it hurts to remember a time when my father used to laugh and smile. It hurts to realise he's as sad as me now.
How was he towards you?
He was nice, I guess. He never forgot my birthday. He always offered me books. I liked books.
Your father and Mr. Lewis used to be good friends. What happened, Harry?
I was young then. I don't remember Mr. Lewis ever coming back again after my mother died. Or was it after my father started bullying him? I don't know.
But you are not responsible for your father's actions.
Am I not? Dad always says that he joined that gang for my safety. So if I wasn't born, people wouldn't be worrying about Colossus Joe.
Have you tried speaking to Mr. Lewis about it?
I don't go out often, but yes. And he scolded me and told me to leave him alone. I guess my father frightens him too much.
Goodbye, young man. Take care of yourself.
Even my dreams are soaked.
Good evening, Christina.
Change your mind, Mr. Reed?
Do you need any assistance?
I
am shocked that you would think I am that sort of man.
Forgive my suspicion. I'm so used to liars with good manners. Thank you, sir.
Goodbye, miss.
You saw nothing! Well, I don't... Where did he wander off to?
Good evening, Mr. Nethercott.
And good evening to you too, my good sir.
Do you need medical attention?
It may be...
I understand your appetite for words and macabre beauty, sir. But you should be more careful.
The nutrition of my mind is more important than my physical health. But I appreciate your concern, sir.
May I ask you a few questions about the district?
Extraordinary part of town, is it not? I'll be glad to help you, if I can.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane, a nurse who lives in this vicinity.
Dorothy Crane. Oh, I love the name. The Crane of Whitechapel. Sounds very mysterious. But, sorry, no, never heard of her.
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu? Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing skills.
Did you know the mute florist is a member of a secret society?
No, I didn't. But I thank you for this information, sir. For it only enriches the mystery surrounding the precious camellia.
Are you not curious? Is there not more you wish to know?
That girl has not an ounce of malice in her. Whatever she may be hiding, it's certain to be for the benefit of most, if not all.
I fear you are a hopeless romantic, Mr. Nethercott.
Guilty as charged, Dr. Reed.
I'll leave you alone, sir.
Okay. You got a creepy stalker, mute lady. I know. Find Clayton. Oh, fucker, move. Oh, never mind.
Good evening, Doctor. Can I help you?
Do you need assistance?
That would be nice.
If you persist in investigating the most pox-ridden boroughs of London, you must accept the risks.
Thank you, sir.
Christina Popper claims she sells her body because she can't find any other work. Do you believe her?
Of course I do. Her story is exactly what I want my readers to understand. We live in an intolerant and divided nation.
Do you think things will ever change, Mr. Darby?
I believe the situation can only improve. And now that women can vote, I'm convinced things will change.
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
I'm a doctor, Mr. Darby. I care about everything involving public health and this epidemic.
Are you sure you're not just concerned about the repercussions that a scandal involving a certain Nurse Crane from the Pembroke Hospital would bring?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious, never goes out, doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
He has no relatives at all?
No, except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nethercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nethercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
He never goes out?
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell.
Recovering, migraine, recovering, get him, recovering. Alright, so we can hit the bronchitis, and I don't know how to cure migraines yet.
I must insist, sir. Please let me see Nurse Crane.
I have no time for you, sir.
A lot of people are talking about this colossus.
Find the...
Perhaps I should look into it. This district seems to get uglier.
Find a
Please,
mailbox.
I don't have your money.
Come on, Barrett, you know the game you pay.
Pay me a glass of
Ah. My dearest, most beloved children, I am so sorry you have not heard from me in a few months. The situation in London has been difficult. I know it may sound selfish and silly when you, my children, are still living in a country consumed by war. But there's also a war going on here in England, a war against poverty and against injustice. This is a war I intend to fight despite my advanced years. This is why I'm writing you today. I won't be coming back to Romania. Probably means I won't see you again before I die. Don't be sad, my darlings. You're grown up now, and you have children of your own. You know the sacrifice we sometimes must make to make the world a better place. This is one I must make now. I feel useful one more time. I wish you a long and happy life. Kiss my grandchildren for me and remember that your father loves you all the way from this cold, damp country.
The content of Darius' letter to his children could give me more leverage to enter. Darius is a bit less of a mystery now. It should not be that difficult to incite him to let me in.
I go the right fucking get. Oh, I found some springs in a trash can. Oh, wait, what's that? Nothing.
pay me a glass and I'll be gentle. Pay me a bottle and
I don't have your money.
Come on, Barrett, you know the game you pay for peace of mind.
Look the other way this week, Joe. Come on, we can sort it out, right?
It's not my call, Barrett.
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never lose your...
Yes, trade.
Right then.
Where's the common handle? Meh. There, you got money for her to extort now. Have fun. I have bronchitis medicine. Let me in.
Mr. Petrescu, just 1 minute, please.
You again? Go away.
Mesmerize level 2. Meh.
Sir, wait. Stop this nonsense. I know Nurse Crane is here. Shall we speak man to man, you and I?
All right. Speak up.
Don't you see we're on the same side? We fight to help the poor, sick, and abandoned.
I'm nothing like you, Mr. Doctor.
Yes, you are. You too believe in providing medical care without charge. You know what we have to sacrifice to make the world a better place.
I have to admit your words have conviction. All right, I'll let you see, Dorothea. Don't make me regret this, though.
Do you have anything I can steal for the good of the Commonwealth? Shillings! Hey, I can make more drugs out of that. Communism, yes? We share. Bottle of cheap gin. Good for all. And the antique figure of the... On my many journeys, I believed I was the most amazed with the exploration of the Mediterranean Isles, and particularly the Isle of Santorini. Searching for traces of vampire presence in these sunburnt lands, whatever, himself refers to the island in his 4th book, and I'm personally convinced there are many mysteries to be unveiled in this part of the world. Who knows that even today the island of Santorini is still considered by some to be the most vampire-infested place in the world, way more than the Carpathians, and that its inhabitants are considered as specialists in the vampire hunt, or the hunt of as they call this creature. According to local myths, the is a dead person who does not decay and can show a vermilion complexion as long as he is gorged with fresh blood. He cannot enter a house without knocking and getting a response. Garlic makes him flee. He does not consume under the sun, but his skin blackens, and can change into a wolf and other animals. What struck me the most is that the same name exists with small variations in the Mediterranean Sea to the Balkans. The Greeks called him the Varkalakas, the Bulgarians and the Macedonians name him Varkalak or Varkalak, Serbians calling Vokodlok, and whatever. Yes, it's a name so similar to the Volkol we already know, my dear brothers. Just read the few words now gives me the shivers. Personally convinced that we are here to confront the same. We are here confronted to some proto-vampire. Goddamn tiny ass text. Maybe they're missing a link between modern vampires and the creatures that came before them. If God allows me enough time, I wish one day to go back to Santorini Isle and find the trail of this ancient and forgotten figure.
It's locked.
Comrade, why do you lock the safe back here? Why, comrade? Is not communist? Meh. Anyway, I'll catch you guys next time. Later.